All right, welcome to a special edition Wild Bills podcast. I believe this is number 29. So I'm going back to a solo pod real quick. This is Saturday night, November 23rd. Was trying to have one this past week with Peyton. Unfortunately, he is out and about. He's abroad celebrating his oldest brother's wedding. So congratulations to the newlyweds. Wi-Fi was not ideal down at the resort, so figured we'd try again maybe this upcoming week. So I'll just briefly go over, some of the talking points that we maybe would have talked about. Didn't really take a whole lot of notes for this one. Just going straight off of vibes. The Eagles beat the Commanders. Kind of asserted themselves as dominant in the NFC East. Jaden Daniels looked not too bad. My hot take from that whole game, does Jaden Daniels throw a ball that's not super catchable? Putting this out a few days before hopefully Peyton comes back on the pod. I'd love to hear his thoughts on that. The Bears once again lose to the bad people up north. I don't know what else there is to say. It's been 6 days and I still don't feel any better about it. I've gone completely numb to this team. Caleb Williams looks pretty good. The new offensive coordinator that got promoted from the passing game coordinator, Thomas Brown, showed that he was able to formulate a game plan that's fit for the offense and its strengths, which is a huge indictment on Shane Waldron. This is stuff that was already beat to death on other sports coverage outlets. So I'll kind of just graze over all of that. Nothing else super jumped out at me. The Bills are obviously looking pretty good. They beat the Chiefs and ended that perfect season. The 72 Dolphins can pop their champagne. That's kind of the story of, Josh Allen's life, isn't it? They are able to beat the Chiefs during the regular season, but come playoff time, that's when, it really matters. And Patrick Mahomes has gotten the best of him those times. So, we'll see if that changes this upcoming season, or this postseason, I should say. Because up until now, they've shown that doesn't really matter during the regular season. Steelers play some black magic stuff on the Ravens, are able to blank them. Lamar Jackson looks pretty pedestrian. This is all the past week, so obviously the Steelers played this past Thursday a few days ago, so we'll graze over that as well. Those are really the only big games that I can think of off the top of my head. Joe Burrow and the Bengals continue to struggle, which is unfortunate because they look pretty good. It's just the defense that keeps letting them down. The Chargers are obviously can't really minimize what they're doing. They're playing a pretty cool brand of offense, cool brand of just football in general, tough defense. And if you have a quarterback like Justin Herbert that has just as many weapons as he does, it's always going to keep you in the games. So let's go off vibes for this week. I have all the games pulled up coming up for this next week, week 12 of football. The Steelers dropped the game against the Browns on Thursday night. Great game to watch. Love me some good weather football. The snow is obviously super fun to look at. I'm sure the players were having a lot of fun on the field. It's kind of a magical feeling being amongst the soft setting snow. It feels quiet. Obviously, they were in a very noisy stadium, but the snow globe effect, kind of just having that added element, makes the ball a little slicker. It's obviously cold down there, cold enough for it to be snowing and for it to pile up, but I'm sure they didn't mind for the aesthetic reasons. Obviously, they probably would have rather been in perfect conditions, but you never get tired of watching that on TV. Jameis was able to pull it out. It's a crazy game. Crazy how the Steelers were able to take the lead. Crazy how Jameis brought it back to win the game. Crazy how there was a chance for the Steelers to win it at the very end. Great game. I don't think it's really going to have the biggest impact on the AFC North standings at the end of the year. Obviously, the Ravens and Steelers are neck and neck. I do think the Steelers might come up in second place, but still have a playoff berth. And that's just what I think, what I have seen so far. Let's see. I'm just going to graze through the games I don't really have much to say about. Texans-Titans. Texans are going to win. Vikings-Bears. I think the Bears are plus 3.5 underdogs at home. I expect absolutely nothing out of the Bears. it doesn't really do us any good to win any games other than to really boost morale, and it doesn't really matter having a lame duck coach that's gonna get fired at the end of the season. That guy's not gonna be conducive to the winning culture of Chicago Bears football. That being said, I think the Bears might actually win this one by a touchdown. Cowboys, Commanders by 2 touchdowns. Patriots, Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are gonna win. They're looking a little better since they got Tua back. Chiefs, Panthers. Chiefs by 3 touchdowns. Buccaneers at the Giants. I think the Buccaneers are going to win by 2 touchdowns. Lions, Colts. That's a deceivingly close proximity, one team to another. I do think the Lions are going to win by probably around 10 points. The Colts are a little better than people probably give them credit for. Broncos, Raiders. We'll take the Broncos. They're playing actually super well. Bo Nix is looking pretty good. Cardinals, Seahawks. The Cardinals are playing super well. They seem to be re-energized. Kyler Murray's playing super well, and I think Marvin Harrison is going to start to pop off towards the second half of the season. So Cardinals that'll probably be a close game, like maybe within a touchdown. It's a divisional game. They like to play each other hard. And then the 49ers against the stupid team. Brock Purdy is not playing, which is unfortunate. He does kind of drive that offense to whatever it is that it is this season. They're obviously not up to par. But I would like for them to win by 100 points. So 49ers is what I'm going to go with. Eagles-Rams, it's going to be a big Sunday night game. Out here in LA, I already see a lot of Eagles fans. I do think the Eagles take it. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Rams are not being taken nearly as seriously by a whole lot of people. Matt Stafford is still that guy. Cooper Kupp obviously has been that guy. We'll just see how that defense is able to, hang with the big boys up front for Philly. But yeah, I foresee a good Sunday night game. Then Monday night, Ravens-Chargers. I think the Ravens will probably win that one. I think John will best his brother Jim in the Harbaugh Bowl, as he has in the past. And I don't know, it's kind of that big brother kind of stuff. So yeah, just wanted to get on here and give my little predictions for this week 12 of the NFL season. Dwindling hope for the Bears. Doesn't really do us any good. I think the best thing for the rest of the season would be to make sure Caleb keeps developing and to better our draft position. Already got into that spot. So whatever. Doesn't matter. Not like I had super high hopes. I knew they weren't going to win the Super Bowl. Didn't realize it would be this pronounced of how much the Bears are in necessity of a coaching upgrade. I was kind of hoping that he would take that step as well, he being Eberflus, but it just hasn't been there, and that is unfortunate. So there has been some moves in the MLB. The Chicago Cubs made some transactions, let some notable players go. I'll highlight the ones that really jumped out at me. Those guys being Mike Tauchman and Patrick Wisdom. Mike Tauchman obviously being a local guy. He had a little bit of time with the Yankees before, but felt like he really wanted to be a Cub. Unfortunate that there wasn't really a spot for him to be on the team. Obviously Cody Bellinger, you want that guy either at center or right field or at first base. Pete Crow Armstrong is kind of growing into the next generation star that we want. The electric guy is kind of a spark on the base paths. Right field could have been a potential spot for him, but I think they want to test, I don't know, some of the new guys or whatever, whoever comes in next season. Left field is Ian Happ. So yeah, Seiya Suzuki's the one that's probably going to be playing right field. So I do think I do like the upside of the other guys at those positions. So it makes sense. He's a perennial bench guy, perennial pinch hitter. Was able to come up with some big hits on some off series that didn't really end up mattering, seeing as the Cubs haven't made the playoffs the past few years. Tough to see a local guy go, though, of course. Patrick Wisdom was also one of those guys that was holding the Cubs over between the Rizzo Bryant Cubs to what they are now with Dansby and Nico Horner. I think a lot of us Cubs fans will remember that day where everybody got traded and kind of wonder, what's really going to happen now. who are the Cubs? And it was guys like Patrick Wisdom, Frank Schwindel, Rafael Ortega, which is another crazy name that I hadn't thought about until about a week ago. Those guys made the Cubs a team. That's who we ended up cheering for the next year or so. At least until we were able to find, more of an identity and seeing where the team was actually going to go. So it'd be sad to see that guy go. He was, a power hitter. He was a pretty solid third baseman. He wasn't Manny Machado, but he was a guy that, I'm super thankful he was on the Cubs. He was always, bound to go deep about 30 times a year. Did see him hit a couple home runs out here in LA on some of the series the past few years. So it's fortunate to be able to see that. Adbert Alzolay also let go. That guy was unfortunately a product that had not panned out to what the Cubs were hoping that it would be. They tried him out in the pen as a starter. None really were able to stick. Obviously, he was a big contributor to the bullpen not being able to hold on to a whole bunch of leads in the beginning of the season, which kind of set the whole thing off on the wrong foot. They put him on the IL for a little bit of time to hopefully give him some time to recover, and it just never worked out. I think he was just rattled the entire time. He kind of just wasn't able to get back to delivering the stuff that we all know he's capable of performing at. Hopefully he goes to another team and, he gets it all figured out, but it just didn't end up working out with the Cubs, and it's unfortunate, and, I wish that guy the best. Also let go of Nick Madrigal. That never made sense to me. So I have not a whole lot to say, and what I do have to say is not the nicest, so I will keep that to myself. And then there was also a previous prospect, Brennan Davis, that ended up not working out because of injuries. So unfortunate. This free agency coming up, the Cubs haven't even taken a meeting with Juan Soto, which is so typical Cubs, because we're a poor team. We obviously don't have any money, especially don't have any money left over after completely tearing down and reconstructing all of Wrigleyville right around the new stadium. Not new stadium, but, all the new stuff that they added. That's where all of our money went. None of it's going to go to what's going on the field. We just want everybody to have a good time. Doesn't matter if we win games. Doesn't matter if we win the division or are competitive or look good in comparison to our division rivals. It's a good thing that they made it look pretty. So thanks for that, Ricketts. Thanks, Jed, for not really going super out of your way for major upgrades for your team that you need. Surely these slightly above average players will carry us to another deep October run. I think it's definitely going to pan out just the way that everybody hopes that it will by putting in this minimal effort. So thanks, guys. That's really all I got. Just kind of wanted to get on here and rant a little bit about the Cubs and a little bit of football. The Bulls are doing average, I think, and the Blackhawks are doing not good. That's the rest of Chicago sports. That's what I got. Let me know if you guys have any comments. Obviously, the last episode that I had was the most watched, thanks to Peyton and our marketing efforts. Hopefully that continues to see an uptick. So thanks to those of you that have been tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying what I'm saying. Hopefully you agree with some of what I'm saying. And if not, let me know. Let's have a nice, civil discussion of our differences on whatever platform it is that you would like to do that on. Until then, we'll probably check back in on Tuesday. And for now, it's over.